Good evening. Welcome to Soundtracks with Birdman. Tonight, I will discuss the John Williams 90th birthday celebration concert at the Kennedy Center. My grandmother would say a lot of times, like, if you can't say something nice about someone, just keep your mouth shut. But if I follow that, this would be an awfully short video. Hello, David. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope your family's good. Let me start with the good stuff. My plane did not get canceled. I did not get bumped from a flight. I made it there safely. I made it back safely. I had lots of turbulence on the return flight, which was awesome. I feel like I got my money for the plane flight. More turbulence, the better. I had a wonderful fried chicken thing at some restaurant bar around the corner from the hotel with green beans and potatoes. That was quite tasty. That was about it for the good stuff. Okay, moving on to the concert. The Potomac River, by the way, is absolutely beautiful. Oh, my Lord. I wonder if our tax dollars just go to making that thing look beautiful. It's nice. It was at the Kennedy Center. The first time there, last time there, most likely. It's very large, very vertical and large. I feel like the lobby areas are built for like 4 times what the seating capacity is for the concert hall. Just my impression. They got this giant bust of John F. Kennedy in one of the lobbies. It's like huge, like I can't even tell you how huge it is. Anyways, on to the concert. When I bought my ticket, I was told that it would be full orchestra with chorus. There was no chorus. I was told Istok Perlman would be there. He was not. Maybe that's not their fault. I don't know. I was told that my least favorite German would not be there. She was there. I was told John Williams would conduct the second half. He did not conduct the second half. I asked the person on the phone. I was very blunt. I said, look, I'm used to a certain level of performance from an orchestra, and if I don't get that, I get grumpy. So is your orchestra worth 2 shits? I think that's what I actually said on the phone. And they're like, but of course, this is American Symphony Orchestra. And I'm like, okay, are they any good? And they assured me that they were top notch. And I was like, okay, I'll take your word for it. They're not top notch. The brass section fucking sucks. If I was Hannibal Lecter, I would be having a mighty fine barbecue this 4th of July, and I wouldn't have to be buying any meat. And I'm just going to leave it there. That's the brass section. Strings were okay. Percussion was okay. If you don't have a good brass section, you don't need to be playing John Williams. Period. That's it. Don't bother. Just play something else. Find something else to play. You have to have a world-class, top-notch brass section to play John Williams. Second problem, conductor. He couldn't hold the orchestra together. There's like a part over here and a part over here and a part down there, and they're all doing their thing, and they all need to meet up in the middle. They were not meeting up in the middle. Like, someone would get here first, and someone would get here second, and then the third person would not even bother showing up. I blame that on the conductor. The conductor should know what his orchestra can play. And if you can't play it, don't fucking play it. It's not that complicated. The conductor should know this. It's his job to hold the orchestra together. And if you cannot do it, play something different or stop being the goddamn conductor. It's not that hard. Moving on. A request for a refund. I'm just going to jump to this part of the story right now. I don't normally complain about stuff. I know sometimes I'll bitch about things like on the show, some that's hyperbolic, some it's being serious, but anyways, like on the way up there, I was at the airport and I was hungry. I got breakfast at this place at the airport, and airport food's like a Tinder profile. You think you're swiping right on the correct one, but at the end of the day, they're all just bad, horrible decisions. So it doesn't matter who you swipe right on. It's just a bad call either way. That's airport food. I ordered hash browns because how can you mess up hash browns and sausage gravy biscuits? How can you mess that up? Well, in an airport, you can, and you pay like $25 for it. You should have paid $5 for it at Hardee's, but it's horrible, and you pick at it, and you don't eat it, but you still pay, and you leave a nice tip because the waitress was nice. And she even asked, she's like, do you not like your food? I'm like, it's fine, because what's the point of complaining about it? It's airport food. You know it's not going to be good, right? I was walking out of the concert because I was done. And I stopped and talked to the usher, and I said, I just want you to know, this is the worst orchestra I have ever heard. This is the worst John Williams concert I have ever been to. And I go to every fucking John Williams concert in North America every year. And you are the worst. And your brass section should all be fired. And the usher's like, oh, I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Fire the brass section and get a better conductor. Anyways, yes, Al, you can mess up hash browns, and I learned that at Nashville Airport. Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna go through the concert bit by bit and tell you what my problems were. Pound hashtag Birdman truth. Yes. There's gonna be a lot of truth here. First off, the selections were not. I was just questioning, like, what are you doing? Well, this is the best you can do. I mean, and second, this wasn't a long concert. And in retrospect, thank God for that, because I would have either flung myself over the balcony or I would have left a lot sooner. Okay. They opened with end credits from E.T., according to the program. That's wrong. It was not the end credits suite from E.T. It was the flying theme from E.T. That was done horribly. Like I said before, the different parts of the orchestra were not on the same page, and they were not meeting up at the sync points. And the brass section fucking sucks. That was wrong with E.T. And it had no drive, it had no emotion, it had no lift. The flying theme from E.T. has lift in it. You hear it and you just want to sit up straighter. Your chest wants to poke out and just fly across the room. Did not have that. It lacked that completely. And I'm like, okay, E.T. is hard to play. I know this. I know E.T. is very complicated. I'll give him a pass. I'll give him a pass on this. They botched that. I'll give him a pass. Up next, excerpts from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Now, every time I hear excerpts from Close Encounters, I always tear up because it is the most beautiful operatic piece of music from John Williams. He should have gotten the Academy Award back in '77. Sorry, Star Wars. It's just a fact. Close Encounters should have won, hands down, over Star Wars. This time, God, I felt nothing. Nothing. Like people say, like, I'm completely dead inside. Yeah, that's how the piece was. It was completely dead. And when you hear the ending of Close Encounters, if you do not tear up, there is something wrong with your soul, or the orchestra fucking sucks. The ending of Close Encounters, it's got a climax, sustain, climax, sustain, and then it's just like, you thought you had a climax before? No, that was the preamble to the climax of all climaxes, and boom, there it is. And it just cascades down like gentle water dripping from a cliff face in Yosemite National Park, and Ansel Adams is there taking a photograph of it, and there it is, and you got it, and it's beautiful, and you can't describe it. You can only feel it in your soul. And it wasn't there. It was not there. They bombed it. It's like, okay, well, maybe the next one will be okay. Maybe so. Maybe so. So my least favorite German came out, named Annie-Sophie Mutter, and she played Markings, which is an original piece John Williams wrote for her for an album. I don't care for her. Everyone knows I don't care for her. Other piece is okay. And then she played Hedwig's theme from Harry Potter. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. Everyone knows this. But I don't need like a cat being choked to death for Harry Potter, and that's just what she is to me. She's like on stage choking a cat in the form of violin that cost millions and millions of dollars. Next came 2 selections from Indiana Jones. They're going to play Marion's theme. And I thought, oh my Lord, if my least favorite German is doing Marion's theme, I'm just, oh. But thankfully, no, she walked off stage. That was a good part of the concert too, when she walked off stage. I should have clapped for that, but I didn't. So they played Marion's theme. It was fine. It was fine. It wasn't great. I felt a little something. I've always loved Marion's theme. That's my favorite theme from Raiders, is Marion's theme. It was fine. Then they botched this abortion from The Last Crusade, the motorcycle chase, and oh my Lord, there was like clinking blocks where they're not supposed to be, and again the brass section was horrible. The timing was off, the tempo was off. It was more off than your electricity when you don't pay the bill for 5 months. It was completely fucking off. Then they did Dear Basketball with the film. I'd never heard it before. I never saw the film before. It was fine. I think they did a decent job on that. There's like hardly any brass in that. So I would say the string section of the orchestra is fine. It's fine. It's not great. It's fine. You know, you need to manage your expectations. If I go to the high school performance of something, my expectations are managed. It's high school. If I go to the nation's orchestra, my expectations are set high. They are not there. Dear Basketball was fine. And then there's an intermission. And I'm just sitting there like this. And everyone's like, whoa! They're standing up, clapping and cheering. And I'm just sitting there like this. And I remember in Pittsburgh, I thought the brass section was kind of weak. I still felt something with Close Encounters. I still enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the hall. I mostly enjoyed the show. It wasn't the show that I would have preferred. I would have changed some of the set pieces. But I still felt something. And aside from the brass section being kind of weak, it was a decent concert. It was a decent concert. So intermission starting, and I'm just sitting there. And I just said, this is the fucking worst orchestra I have ever heard. And it's like everyone around me was like, oh! I was like, I'm just dumbfounded how horrible. And the guy next to me, he came in with his little like antique opera glasses. It's like, okay. And he's like, well, I disagree. And he walked off. And I'm like, okay, I'm happy you're enjoying this. I wish to God I could have been like everyone else in that auditorium and been enjoying it and thinking this is the best thing in the entire world to hear. But it wasn't. And I wish I could have like dialed back all the years of listening to the Boston Pops and the London Symphony. Just dialed all that back and stripped it from my ears and my heart and my soul and my mind and just thought this was awesome, but it wasn't. It was flat. It was off time, off tempo. And the brass section, if I have not said this before, fucking sucks. And if you cannot play brass, do not play John Williams. And I thought, I'm just going to bounce. But I'm like, no. John Williams will come out in the second half, and somehow this will just be better. The musicians will just be better after intermission. Somehow. I don't know how. But I got up and like I sent Eric Woods a message, and I'm like, holy fuck, this sucks. And he's like, what's wrong? And I just gave him like a quick description, like Close Encounters was flat, the brass section fucking sucks. If I haven't said that before. And he was like, oh, shit. And I'm like, yeah. And I really thought John Williams would come back after intermission. And I talked to some of the ushers, and they're like, no, John Williams isn't going to conduct anything tonight. I was like, but I like, you know what? Maybe this will be like Alabama football. They'll just like mess up the first half of the game. And they'll come back second half, and they'll just slaughterize the entire thing. So I'm like, come on, second half. Come on, guys. Get in the game. Superman March. You can probably guess where I'm going with this. Brass section. Say it with me, everybody. fucking sucks. You cannot play Superman March with a bad brass section. And the orchestra was all over the map. No one was on the same page. They were not playing it properly. They weren't reaching the same points when they were supposed to be reaching the same points. Then they did the Olympic fanfare and theme with film. And I will say this, the little snippet montage films that they had, they were very good. I enjoyed those. Those were fine. Those were good. Okay, what I'm about to say, I've never uttered for any orchestral performance I've ever attended before. The Olympic fanfare was so loud, it hurt my ears. I'm like, can you please turn the volume down? How do you get to be that loud in a concert hall? I do not understand it. I like audible music. I like powerful music. I like clear music. I do not like loud, overpowering, burst my eardrums loud. And that's what it was. It was too loud. I never thought I would say that about an orchestral concert. It was too loud. My ears hurt. And the brass section fucking sucked. And you know the part in the Olympic fanfare where you get that big emotional, like reach in the air, pull it down, and just, you know? They didn't do it. They bombed it. It flopped. I don't know why I was surprised at this point in time. I was still hoping, please, nail one piece. Nail one piece for me. Please, no. Flat. Then Yo-Yo Ma came out. And he played, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking the same thing I thought when I heard Yo-Yo Ma was going to be at the 90th birthday party for John Williams. They're going to do Memoirs of a Geisha because that score was written for Yo-Yo Ma. So Yo-Yo Ma on the same stage with John Williams, they're going to do Memoirs of a Geisha. Guaranteed. Because that's a standard concert piece now to be done. No. They had him doing Schindler's List theme. Why? Why? That was written for violin, not cello. You had a world-class violinist who I don't care for there who did not do Schindler's List. She's the violin player. Yo-Yo Ma's the cello player. Why did you give this piece to him? I have no idea. But he did a good job. That was the only piece of the night where I was like, okay, put that on a CD and I'll buy it. The rest of this needs to be burned from the face of the planet. Then my least favorite German came out, and she and Yo-Yo Ma did the duel from the Adventures of Tintin, and that was cute. That was cute. It was fine. I rather enjoyed it. It was fine. And then they were doing Jurassic Park. Let me back up a bit. They were doing like 3 nights of like a birthday extravaganza. They did E.T. the night before, live music to film, the concert last night, and tonight they're doing Jurassic Park. And I thought seriously long and hard about going all in and getting tickets for all 3 nights. I am so glad I didn't. Because I would have gone to E.T. and it would have fucking sucked. And I would have been like, well, E.T. is hard to do, so let's not write them off just yet. Concert's tomorrow night. It'll be fine. The brass section for Jurassic Park sounded like a warped record being played on the wrong speed. Let that sink in. A warped record, which is already deformed, being played at the wrong speed. That was Jurassic Park. I'm going to say this one more time. Jurassic Park was a warped record played at the wrong fucking speed. After that, we had 2 selections from Star Wars. We had, it's just called The Rise of Skywalker. I don't know what they're playing. Perhaps the end credits. I have no idea. And Throne Room and Finale. So that would be Star Wars, Star Wars. For you younger people, you would call it A New Hope. After Jurassic Park, I stood up and I left. And I walked back to my hotel. And the little hopeful part back in my brain said, but Birdman, what if John Williams comes out and conducts an encore of the Raiders March or the Imperial March or anything else, or like Jane Eyre, or God forbid, the Cowboys? That would make you so happy. Wrong, hopeful part of my brain. It would piss me off because I do not want the potential last show of John Williams to be with a piece of shit orchestra with a fucking horrible brass section that can't play a goddamn thing. So I walked out and I complained to the usher. And then I complained to the other usher that I saw. And I walked out. And there's this beautiful like porch thing with the Potomac River and the sun was setting. And I called a YouTube friend of mine, Toy Habits, and I talked to him for a bit. He's like, talk to me, Goose. And I just like barreled into him. And he's like, wow, I'm sorry. I'm like, so am I. I don't, you know, and I don't mean to just be like negative Nancy and a little bitch boy about like, oh, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's about expectations. Again, I have seen concerts. I saw, what was it, like the Rocket City Brass Band John Williams concert. And I'm like, it's local. My expectations are really, really low. And then I got the program like, they're doing Cadillac of the Skies with all brass. How? No, there's no way. And this was in a gym. This was in a church gym. But they did a fine job. And if they did a recording of it, I would pay them money for that recording. And Cadillac of the Skies, which is my, like, that's my theme. If I had to pick a piece of John Williams music, Cadillac of the Skies is my theme. And it was done with all brass. And I still can't wrap my head around how they did it. But they did it. And my God, it was phenomenal. And I applaud them. And I would pay money to see them anywhere, anytime. If it was a cattle yard on slaughter day, I would pay to see them do it again. These people, I wouldn't cross the street if my side of the street was on fire to see these people play again. You're supposed to be world class. Be it. Don't half-ass it. And if the conductor can't keep shit together, get another conductor. I did miss out. I did leave out one piece. Steven Spielberg came out in the first half, and he gave a very, very heartfelt speech to John Williams, thanking him for their like 50 years of film work. He went through some of their career. He said, you're my best friend. You've made me a better filmmaker. If it wasn't for you, I would not have the career that I have. He said, and this is important. He said, music in movies is the emotional base of the film. It conveys everything. A moving picture is just a moving picture. Case in point. What happened? A Hulk walk across the screen. Brum, 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 brum. Now what happened? A pissed off Hulk walked across the screen. And the speech was very heartfelt, very moving. I applaud the friendship that they have. I applaud the collaboration they've had for 50 years. I thank both of you for my childhood. I don't know where I would be today without John Williams, Steven Spielberg, and Star Wars as my childhood. That's the soundtrack of my life. That's the soundtrack of all of our lives. Thank you. I applaud both of you. Thank you. This orchestra can fucking suck it and die. Thank you for nothing. I was going to do a video last night when I got back to the hotel. I could not get StreamYard to connect for nothing. And I tried to do a video before the show, but I cannot get StreamYard to connect for nothing either. I don't know why that is. But it's probably a good thing it didn't connect last night because I might have sworn a little bit too much. I'm eternally grateful. And last night, before I always say my prayers before I go to sleep, I was like, thank you, God, for the opportunity and the chance to come up here. Thank you for a job and employment and enough money that I can make this trip. The concert was not what I was expecting, but thank you for the opportunity to see it. And I will say this, you cannot appreciate the good things in life without the shitty things to go with it, because then you know what's truly good. And you can call me a Boston Pops fanboy all damn day. I'm okay with that. I know what I'm getting. I know it's good. And I will always go back to that. So thank you, Boston Pops. Honestly, thank you. Thank you so much for being as phenomenally good as you are. I appreciate your talent. I love your talent. You always nail it every time. And I thank you for that. And I love you for that. These people, I got no love for them at all. But you really do need to experience the bad things in life to appreciate the good. And there is far, far more good in life than there is bad. When I hit end on this video, this concert will be wiped from my mind and I will never think upon it again. It's like that part in Rob Roy where what's that? Tim Roth, the bad guy, he attacked Rob Roy's wife in a very adult way, and he's being all smirky, and she's like, I will think of you until my husband kills you, and then I will think on you no more. That's where I am with this concert. I know what you mean, Jessica Lange, now. I got you, babe. I know exactly what you mean. This concert's done and it's over, and it's not even on my radar anymore. What is on my radar? That Houston Symphony concert. That was a concert. I went into that with low expectations. I saw some of their things on YouTube with Christmas music. They blew me away. That was an awesome concert. Sharing it with all of you was an awesome experience. I think I said at the time, this is the concert to beat this year. And I thought this would. John Williams was there. It doesn't matter. Steven Spielberg was there. It doesn't matter. If Harrison Ford had come out and they had played the Raiders March with that brass section, would not have mattered at all. But I'm eternally grateful for the ability to have gone, to have seen it. I'm grateful for every trip I've made to Boston, that Houston concert this year, and all of y'all who came along for that ride. Thank you so much. The John Williams concert we streamed Wednesday night from Japan, that's like 20, 30. It's older. It's been around for a while. That was more enjoyable than this. And maybe we should make that a point in this channel to find more concerts there on YouTube for free, and we can stream them together and enjoy them. You should definitely enjoy live music. You should seek out concerts. There will be some bad ones. Applaud the effort where there was effort. I don't think there's any effort in this, so I'm not applauding jack shit. Appreciate the good things in life. Appreciate your friends. Appreciate everything that's been afforded you, even the bad stuff, because a blessing is a blessing, even if sometimes it's not the way you thought it would work out. I'm very grateful to have had the chance to go. I'm glad I had the money to go. I got to see John Williams one more time. He was sitting in the audience. He stood up a couple times. It's good to be in the room. I still wish I could have enjoyed the concert. I wish I could have been like everybody else there and thought this was the best thing since sliced cheese or whatever floats your boat. But it wasn't. It was pretty bad. It was beyond a train wreck. But I have lots of other good memories that I will cherish forever. This is not one of them. And like I said, this won't even be on my radar after this. I was going to get this framed with my concert ticket. I'm not anymore. It's going to go in a drawer. I'll pull it out maybe in 15 years and be like, I remember that concert. That brass section fucking sucked. And I'll have a laugh, and that will be it. And I will never go back to the Kennedy Center again for anything. I will go to Houston. I love you, Houston Symphony. Y'all rock. So you're still with me at the end of this rant. Yeah, I hope I'm not coming across just a little whiny bitch, but they were not good. They were not good. I like to think at least if Eric Woods was there, he would have been like, oh, dude. I'm like, yeah, because it wasn't good. It was not good. But thank you. for the chance to go. Thank you for all the chances to experience music and to appreciate music and to love music. I know jack shit about music. I know jack shit about grammar, but I can write and I know what sounds good, and I'm eternally grateful for that. This is not a good concert at all, but I have thousands of hours of excellent music on CD, LP, on YouTube, streaming. It's there. Seek it out. Love it. Enjoy it. Life without music is like life without love. What's the point? I'm going to flip through these comments real fast, and then I got to feed my wolf pack. Pound raging Birdman. Yeah, I wasn't too happy, but I had a safe trip. I got home. My dogs are okay. So, pound hashtag Birdman truth. That's cute. What was the good description? Yeah, motorcycle music from Last Crusade, and that's I much prefer like the boat chase from Last Crusade. If you want to play a concert piece, I think that's sadly overlooked as the Venice boat chase. Pound hashtag Birdman passion. I've never thought of myself as a passionate person. I remember back in the day when I was on like eHarmony, and it's like, what are you passionate about? I'm like, it's just like, people say they're passionate about this, passionate about that. They're just throwing around words, whatever. I love film music. I love John Williams. Like I said, it's the soundtrack of all of our childhoods. It's most likely, according to my YouTube specs, that's the age group. That's the soundtrack of our lives. I urge you not to delete this video. It's a teaching, learning moment. I appreciate your brutal honesty. Thank you. I decided when I started the channel, I don't really know much about music, but I can be honest in everything I talk about. So that's my goal, is just be honest with everyone. And hopefully y'all appreciate it. Thank you for your kind words. Yes, they are supposed to be professionals. And you know, I talked to a friend, and she's like, well, maybe they didn't have enough time to rehearse. No. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. I'm not sure I've had much humility in this. What happened to it? I'm not sure I've had much humility in this rant. The rant is somewhat cathartic. I feel like crying now. Houston concert was an exceptional surprise. Yeah. No, don't thank me. Thank y'all for showing up. There would be no channel without y'all. Did that for y'all. Thank y'all. How was the brass section again? Okay. For those that haven't been paying attention, the brass section fucking sucked. They shall be fired. There are brighter days. There are. And like I said, I've got so many memories of Boston. And I'll have so many more memories of Boston. And Boston is like constant as the Northern Star or Julius Caesar. They're one and the same. Oh, the Close Encounters, they're kind. Yeah. God, Close Encounters. Yeah. Yeah, Close Encounters. It's, if you do it right, and usually it's done right, it's phenomenal. And that really was robbed the Academy Award. Star Wars should have come in second. Close Encounters should have come in first. Empire should have gotten 1980. Raiders should have gotten 81. Superman should have gotten, was that 78, 79? I forget what year, but Superman should have won for that. Those are like giant overlooks for John Williams. That, Memoirs of a Geisha, or Munich should have won. I think at the time I was pulling for Munich. Looking back on it, maybe Memoirs of a Geisha should have won instead of Munich. Oh, I was really upset that year Dances with the Wolves won over Home Alone. I was not happy. But I was in high school. I mean, retrospect, Dances with Wolves should have beat Home Alone. I'll give it that. But high school Birdman was not happy. Anyways, that's about all I got for tonight. it's sad it didn't work out, but I'm thankful I made it there and back safely. My dogs are okay. My checking account's not overdrawn. DC was more expensive than what I thought it would be, but it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, it's all good. So rant over. Just don't ever ask me about this concert because I don't want to think about it ever again. Thank you everyone for tuning in to listen to my rant. And if you're listening to this in the future, hopefully the brass section will improve if you ever go to the Kennedy Center, but I will not ever be back. You're right, Big Al. I should have come to see you instead, and I wanted to. It just didn't work out this time. But someday soon, I need to come up and see you. And like, we should like watch movies all day and eat junk food. And that will happen someday, I guarantee you. Adopt, Stone Shop, keep listening to great film music. You may have to listen to some crap film music to find the great. But if you ever need some recommendations, hit me up. John Williams, Boston Pops, by request, Spielberg Williams collaboration, Williams on Williams. Start there. I just got this box set of Jerry Goldsmith. I need to send it to Eric Woods, but I am going to listen to it first. This looks like an awesome set. It's upside down. I'm going to give this a listen before I send it to Eric Woods. Thank you, everyone, for listening to my rant. Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, joining the chat. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you so much. Without you, there would be no channel. And yeah, I'm going to feed my dogs now and listen to some Boston Pops before I go to bed. Good night, everyone.